What's good, YouTube, and welcome back to the channel. I'm proud to present the Halloween stream. We're playing Kingdom Hearts, and I will also be talking about a certain topic that I came up with the other day, which is about too big to fail gaming, okay? And how it's ruining certain IPs that we grew up with, such as Dragon Ball, and I want to add another one, Pokemon, because Pokemon just came out. Pokemon ZA just came out, and everyone on the internet is hate farming that game. And I've been accused of being a hate farming myself, so I want to explain why people are hate farming Pokemon and why people are so outraged at the quality of those games, okay? And how those games are or games like that, too big to fail games is what I call them, are kind of ruining gaming in a way for a certain amount of people, okay? Now, as far as the topic, like Dragon Ball games, they're coming out low quality. Bandai's releasing low quality games like basically every year. We get a couple here and there that are high quality. The rest are pretty mediocre. And it's, I was thinking the other day, it was like, how come back in the day we didn't get that from Dragon Ball? And the reality is, Dragon Ball wasn't that big of an IP back then. It was just starting out, when the first Budokai came out. And now Dragon Ball is so huge that they became too big to fail, basically. So no matter what they release, they could release anything. They could put a turd in a box and release it to the consumer base, the Dragon Ball fan base, and they will buy it. A certain percentage of the fan base will buy it, and they'll say it's good, and they'll defend it on Twitter. So, like I said, they're too big to fail, and that's why the quality of Dragon Ball games has just declined over the years. And I'm going to be honest, I'm going to piss off a lot of people. Even games like Kakarot, they're okay. They're not the best games. Like, they're good for anime games, but they're really kind of mediocre games, if we're going to be honest. Okay, guys? And that's just the reality of that. And Pokemon is the same thing. Back when Pokemon was coming out in the 90s, the first Pokemon was groundbreaking. Okay, the first Pokemon was a JRPG with 150 different characters. We had never seen that before, and that's why Pokemon blew up. That coupled with the anime. But now it's like they don't even have to try. Pokemon's so big, like I said, they could sell you a turd in a box and you will buy it because it's Pokemon, okay? We need to talk about Super, the animation, bro. Why was the animation for Super so bad, bro? It reminds me of Sparking Zero. Like, you would think, bro, this is Dragon Ball. It's coming back, Battle of Gods. Just smash the internet, smash like everything. Like, let's put some quality behind this anime. And they just gave us like a piece of turd in a box. And we just accepted it. Like I said, bro, too big to fail games, too big to fail shows. Like, they just half-ass it because they know they could get away with shit like that. Now, did you guys see the new Sonic game that's coming out? Sonic Rumble, I think it's called. Bro, that shit looks incredible, bro. It's like a party game, co-op. It's like a racing game all in one. Like, it looks amazing. And Sonic is really killing it right now. And the reason they're killing it is because they have to, bro. They don't have like as big of an IP as Dragon Ball. They can't get away with bullshit. They have to put quality behind the games. That's why Rumble was supposed to come out like a year ago. They delayed it a whole year. They're like, nah, bro, we're not releasing this shit until it's done. You know what I mean? Pokemon is another franchise that's too big to fail. That's why the games suck. That's why they don't put any quality behind the fucking games. And that's why Digimon is kicking their ass right now. They deserve it. I think they had to rush a lot of shit for deadlines in the fear of competition. Who has a fear of competition? Dragon Ball? No, there's no competition for Dragon Ball, bro. There's not an enemy that even stands a chance. Like, they could have delayed Sparking a whole year and we still would have bought it the same way. Daima is, like, it's good. It's a good show, but it's not gonna, bro, make or break Sparking. Like Tenkaichi, bro. Tenkaichi, like, that name itself is so strong, bro. They could have waited a whole year. I can't wait till Super comes back. But this is my thing. If it's gonna come back, like, make it good. Don't give us no piece of shit animation. You know what I mean? It's Super. We're all anticipating Super to be good. If anything, they should make moral arc a movie. Now, there was a lot of animes coming up while DB was in hiatus. I think they were pressing the anime, so it was at least out, but not good. Yeah, but remember, like, Battle of Gods came out, bro. Battle of Gods was amazing. Everybody loved Battle of Gods. And we thought we weren't getting any more content, so they could have took their time and made it a lot better. I don't care about these God forms and shit. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Alright, this is what they should have done with God, right? So, God form was so unique that it should have been just for the movie, in my opinion. It should have been like a preview of what Goku can achieve with a lot of training. The problem with God is that they made it weaker than Super Saiyan Blue. What they should have did was, okay, Goku used God for the movie. This is a preview of what what Goku could be. And then when he comes against Frieza, he uses Blue, and it's like, okay, he learned how to use God Ki, but he's not God form. God form should be stronger than Blue, in my opinion. Because it's a ritual. It's like a legendary form. It should be like some sort of like special shit that you can't repeat. You can only do it once. You know what I mean? But they made it weaker than Blue. I think that's the problem with God form. But bro, he was sparring with Beerus. Like, he was like throwing hands with Beerus. And they kind of retconned that. Like, Goku can't mess with Beerus at all, even now. Yeah, that's completely true. Beerus came expecting an equal in God form, yet Goku now has 2 to 3 forms that are canonically stronger. Exactly. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Like, God form should have been like, okay, you do the ritual, you get it once. That's it. You can't use it again. And it's kind of like a preview of, like, okay, if he masters God Ki, he could get to this level. But he can't just, like, improve on it, you know? And then MUI should be, like, kind of weaker than God form. You know what I mean? Like, MUI should be, okay, he's getting close. Like, MUI should be like, okay, Goku achieved something close to God form. Like, that way it makes it special. Getting Black Frieza and Moro. I feel like Moro should be a movie, and it should be a unique story, different from the manga. Like, it should be based on the manga a little bit, but they need to change up certain things because it repeats too much the story beats from original Dragon Ball and Z. They need to make it more unique. And I think Moro is a good character. Like, if they really spice up the originality of that story, it could be really good. And then they come out with Super after the Moro movie, going into the Granola arc and stuff like that. I feel like would be a smart plan. You know? Getting Black Frieza and Moro. I don't know who Moro is, but I don't give a fuck about Frieza. I hate that they kept bringing him back. I disagree, bro. I love Frieza. I love Frieza, bro. And bro, Frieza was getting I don't know if you remember back in the Z era. What? Frieza was getting disrespected left and right.
Come to see the door to this world.
Nah, I'm tired of movies being the seasons.
Connected.
Bro, did you see the Demon Slayer movie?
What are you talking about?
Did you see the Demon Slayer movie?
Tied to the
It was fire, bro. I like the concept of Moro and what happened in the arc. I don't know if much needs to be changed. But bro, the problem is that Moro is essentially Demon King Piccolo, bro. He's like a mix of Demon King Piccolo and the androids themselves. It's like they just rehashed old stories from Z and made it into its own thing. That's the issue. What you mean with the title, bro? My bad if you've already talked about it. You're talking about... Okay, I can repeat it, bro. I was talking about too big to fail games. If you've noticed, right? Dragon Ball is too big to fail. Barking is underwhelming. Pokemon is too big to fail. The new Pokemon game is underwhelming. That's why it's getting hate farmed all over the place, right? And then you have the competitors. You have Digimon, who went hard on their game because they have to. They're not too big to fail. They have to put quality products out to retain the audience. They can't just put a piece of turd in a box and give it to the player base and know that they're going to buy it anyway. They have to come correct. And that's why I think in modern gaming, too big to fail games are kind of ruining gaming in a way, because the previous IPs that were really good when we were growing up, they became too big to fail, and that's why the quality of the games are declining. But if you notice, even back in the day, we had games like that. It's just We just didn't notice it because we had all these games like this right here, like very original games, high quality, right? But back in the day, 2000 era, they had licensed games. When movies came out, they used to put out a game license. They would license the IP, and then they would put out like a basic game with crash mechanics. And they would sell well, bro. Even though the games were trash, they would sell well because the IP was big. The problem is the IPs that we used to love growing up are now those big IPs. You know? And that's why the games come out so lackluster. You know what I mean? What's up, this? I still remember the Incredible Hulk game in King Kong. Exactly. So, if you notice, we had games like that were kind of shitty. They were just like other IPs. The thing is, video games and anime have become so large that the IPs that used to be kind of smaller and needed to be high quality, now they can come out with bullshit products and people still buy them. And I know I'm gonna piss off a lot of people, but for example, like Kakarot, I don't think it's that good of a game. Like, I don't think Kakarot's that great. Like, it's kind of mediocre, you know? And Dragon Ball gets away with it because it's Dragon Ball. And anime is just bigger now. When Budokai came out, the first one, so that game was very groundbreaking. Like, I know it doesn't seem that way now because it was so long ago, but it was the first like 3D model that actually looked good. It looked like the anime, like it was a good game. And they had to come out with good products because Dragon Ball, you know, it was still coming out in the West. It wasn't as big as it is now. It wasn't as recognizable as it is now. So the games had to be good. Like, they had to be good. They had no choice. Now the games don't have to be good. They could be trash. That next game that's gonna come out, it's like a turn-based RPG or some shit. It looks like ass. It looks ass. They're just shitting out mediocre games. Like, they don't give a fuck. They have like one good game, the rest is ass. Genshin Squadra is okay. It's a mediocre MOBA. It's not that great. Okay, like, let's be honest, guys. Let's be honest. Like, we just settle for shit because it's Dragon Ball. That's the reality, bro. It's a mediocre MOBA, and they put costumes in it, and people like freak out about it. It's not that great. Not that groundbreaking. Now, I will be playing it soon, and I will be reviewing it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll change my mind. But from what I've seen, it looks mediocre.